Two men from two different backgrounds, fighting for one common goal in America.
We just want to be part of the fine fabric of the Louisville community.
America's at its best when we're together.
Joe Buno and Lamont Collins are changing the narrative of their communities. The Asia Institute Crane House and Roots 101 African American Museum. Both serve as pillars in the city, fighting to educate and celebrate the achievements of Asian and Black Americans. It's a story Collins says starts with a troubled past.
If you look at the history, the 250-year history of America, you have to remember that Black people were enslaved more than 300 years of that history.
In the 17th and 18th century, Europeans and American slave traders transported nearly 12.5 million enslaved Africans to the Americas. The Emancipation Proclamation, signed by Abraham Lincoln in 1863, freed millions of enslaved Africans. But that alone didn't officially end slavery until the 13th Amendment was passed after the Civil War in 1865.
When you tell the story of America, you have to start that story. Frederick Douglass says, what is the 4th of July to a slave? Black people wasn't free. We were considered three-fifths human.
Following slavery's end, Black Americans were met with many more challenges during the Reconstruction period, the emergence of white supremacy groups like the Ku Klux Klan, and the Civil Rights Movement. It's not only a story Collins says he wants to remember, but one he wants to highlight through the Roots 101 Museum.
I call it a healing space where we can heal together, understand together, and realize if we talk about American history, the greatest part of American history is the diversity of America.
Buno at the Asia Institute says the Asian community is fighting against its own challenges.
We follow this myth of the model minority, where we just keep quiet, we don't cause any waves, and by doing that, hopefully we can have a say.
The model minority myth was coined in a 1966 New York Times article by sociologist William Peterson. It's a stereotypical term used to pit people of color against one another and suggests Asian people are often represented at the top, something Buno says Asian Americans are working to unlearn. It's shown right here in Louisville, particularly within the Vietnamese community.
A lot of immigrant Vietnamese who've come here, you know, they don't really identify as Vietnamese, and sometimes they don't really truly feel American.
Asian Americans make up around 3% of the total population in Louisville. Vietnamese immigrants are one of the largest groups, just behind Indian Americans. Buno says Asia Institute events and recent social media trends has ignited a sense of pride.
And I've heard from a lot of them when we hosted our Asian night market that they felt like they were recognized, and they felt like, wow, people know they can experience the food that I have always loved but was always ashamed to eat. And now we see other people just experiencing this food for the first time and loving it.
And that sense of pride, celebrated within the walls of Roots 101 and the Asia Institute, is shared within the community.
I think when you walk into space, there's something bigger that you feel in the space.
From Black History Month and Juneteenth celebrations to Asian night markets and Chinese New Year celebrations, the world is invited into these spaces to embrace and learn more about each culture. And as we look ahead to the future of America, Buno says,
we are more alike than we are different. All people, I don't care where you come from, what color your skin is, or what region you learn. All we want to do is get together, eat some good food, dance, experience music, and just celebrate with family.
Collins echoes that with this message.
There's an African proverb that says the greatest king plants shade trees, he'll never set up under it. Roots is a shade tree that I planted that would live on forever. Understanding, healing, education, all those things combined where kids can come get and communities can get. And Roots would be what America's supposed to be. It would be the beacon of diversity where people understand that we're better together.
Sydney Harbin, Wave News.